So, for the first card, this is Taurus Sun, Taurus Moons, and Taurus Risings. So we have the Eight of Wands. So it looks like you guys are definitely going after a goal. This goal could be a financial goal. This could be, you know, this could actually be a relationship type of goal. Perhaps there could be a love interest that you might be interested in. Maybe you're considering pursuing this relationship. That's not going to resonate with all of you. That's just going to resonate with a few of you. Now, typically, I tend to associate this more as like financial type of goals. You know, Perhaps maybe you've had a dream about building a business, or maybe some of you might have a side project. Maybe you want to see that become successful. No matter what this is definitely indicating swift movement. So we are moving towards achieving a goal that we are trying to achieve. Sometimes this can even be like a dream that we've had for most of our lives, and we are actively going after it. So yes, we are moving swiftly towards achieving a goal that we have already set, and we are going after it. Okay, so for the circumstances, all right, so we have the Five of Swords in the reverse position. So the positive part up to this card is at least there's no deception from other people, which, is a good thing, because deception is just awful. Don't even get me started on that. I'll be going on a rant forever. So, okay, so there's no deception, but unfortunately, with the Five of Swords, there tends to be someone who may want to start problems. Now, I should be very clear. Sometimes this can be someone that wants to start problems for you. For some of you, this could actually be you. So, a lot of times I tend to equate this card in the reverse position like this as, trying to rock the boat, So we're just trying to shake up the status quo. But we do need to be careful when doing so. Now, sometimes, and this is not going to be for all of you, this is just going to be for a few of you. This can indicate some sort of legal issues. It's not like a huge legal issue, but it's, a mildly annoying type of legal issue that could come up that you might have to deal with. And I would just say, if you are dealing with this type of legal issue, this could be something like small claims court. If you are dealing with this type of issue, just be careful, stay on the straight and narrow. You don't want to have an unethical victory, if you know what I mean. We don't want to, break our own code of ethics, so to speak. And sometimes this can be about, maybe we might win, but it can be like an empty victory. Yeah. And there's definitely also a bit of a warning, like we need to be careful of our reputation. And along with that, this card tends to bring some sort of gossip. So, again, you could be the one that is being gossiped about, or you could be the one doing the gossiping. Because every Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign is different, and we have different situations, and that's okay. But, I have to read this card like so, because, you could be on either end of it. So if you happen to be on the receiving end of some gossip where you find out that someone has gossiped about you or about, a friend or a close family member, just address it quickly. You don't have to keep beating the drum over and over and over again. Just say your piece, say your truth, and let it be. There'll be people who are going to know you're telling the truth and they'll believe you. And then there's going to be people that are going to be like, well, you know what? Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. Some people, you can't change their mind anyway. I mean, the truth could literally stomp on their head and they wouldn't know it. So, okay, maybe went a little bit too far with that example, but but overall, this can be someone who's just trying to, start some issues, maybe cause you some drama. Okay, so it is clarified by the world in the reverse position. So when I see the world in the reverse position, this tells me that there is some sort of pattern that has been created. And it's like we could be making the same mistake over and over again, which is why the world is in the reverse, because the world is about us learning our karmic lessons, and just learning our life lessons in general. But when it's in the reverse, we're failing to learn, we're repeating a behavior, or, we're repeating something that is really not good for us, and we're not learning because every time we repeat, we're refusing to learn the lesson and integrate it and move forward. So, for some of you, this could be about, maybe it's your views regarding a relationship. Could be a romantic relationship, could be a platonic relationship. Maybe some of you could potentially have a pattern of, attracting similar type of friends or similar lovers, where it's like, oh, this person's just like, Jimmy and Joe, and, you know, but, it's just someone different. So it's like, there again, a pattern has been created, and, we're attracting similar type of people. And, say you've been in a relationship with so many people here and they've all had some similarities, and then you meet a new person and then you start seeing little glimpses of familiar things from your past relationships. Well, this is like the universe jumping out like, hey, a pattern is being repeated here. And so these are the types of patterns that we need to learn from so that we can stop getting ourselves into these situations that pretty much end up leaving us hurt. Even if it's not something huge. I mean, sometimes it can be about friendships, but sometimes it can be about, work. This can be about many different things. But ultimately, some of you could be doing a little bit of self sabotage. And if you are doing a little bit of self sabotage and you know it, then you definitely need to pinpoint what the pattern is. What is it that you're not learning? What lesson keeps repeating in your life that you're not giving into, that you're not learning? Because the sooner that you can identify what that is, and the sooner that you can make peace with it and learn it, then the faster that we can clear this up and we can bring this world card to the upright position, which then, can begin to bless us. I mean, we're all blessed anyway. But, the sooner that we learn these lessons, then we don't have to keep going through dealing with dramas and oppositions. And patterns are created for a reason. So sometimes there's a much deeper meaning behind the pattern. But I don't want to go too far here. This is just a general reading. This is not a personal reading. Whereas if it was a personal reading, I would get very in-depth about the pattern. Okay, so moving forward. All right, so this would be the focus. So this is like the focus of the entire reading. So we have the Lover's card. Now, let me just be clear. Not every Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign is in a relationship or wants to be in one, and that's okay. Some of you are in relationships. Some of you are not in relationships, but you desire to be in relationships. So just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, with the Lover's card, this doesn't always have to be a romantic relationship. It can be for some of you. And for some of you that have no desire to be in a romantic relationship right now, this can be a friendship. This could be, even a relationship with a family member. But there's going to be a very strong bond between you and the other person. Now, another thing with this card is the Lover's card is always about choices, and the decisions that we make. So, anytime I see the Lover's card, whether it's about a relationship or not, I always like to say we need to make the right choices for where we are right now. So make sure that you make the right choices for you and where you are right now and for your particular situation. We don't want to be making decisions that are not going to be fulfilling in the end. And see, only you know what's going to be best for you. So just be aware that we need to make the right decision for where we are at this moment in time. Okay, so it is clarified by the Four of Cups. So I'm getting I'm getting the feeling that some of you who are in romantic relationships, some of you, not all of you, okay, let me be clear, not all of you, but some of you are definitely feeling dissatisfied with the particular union relationship. Now, for some of you, you might be feeling dissatisfied in a friendship. For some of you, you could be dissatisfied within a romantic relationship. We could also say maybe you're bored. It's always good to look at the cards. Look at how he's holding his arms. He's being very leery. You can tell he's looking up at that cup. There's a full cup of wine up there and he's just looking at it. But he's got some trust issues because he's been hurt before. And he's just looking up at that cup like, yeah, I don't know if I want to reach out and grab that because, that cup just might fall apart and literally cut my hand up, But, maybe the cup will be fine. Maybe that wine will sustain me. I just don't trust it. I don't want to reach up, So that's kind of an example. Maybe a corny one, but hey, he's been through things. And it's like he has some issues trusting. And so some of you could be having some issues with trust regarding a relationship. Again, it could be a romantic relationship or it could just be a platonic relationship. Either way, when I say the Lover's card, it is a relationship where there is a deep bond. But remember, this is also about making choices and decisions. So for those of you who are in relationships, whether they're romantic or platonic, maybe you're questioning if you should continue on in this relationship. Maybe some of you are questioning and wondering, should I even get into this relationship? Because this is definitely indicating like past experiences where we don't have much trust, where we're just being really leery. Like, I don't know if I should. I just, I don't trust it. You know, sometimes we just have to take a chance, but to each his own. Do what you feel is best for you, and again, only you know what that is. This could be, the cup represents an opportunity. Okay, so the opportunity could be one that is very genuine, or it could be an opportunity that is full of bullshit. Excuse my French, but I mean, it can go either way. Hence why he's so leery. And it looks like you have a choice to make. And maybe some of you are just leery to make that choice or decision. Maybe you wonder if you're making the right choice. But, this is definitely a card of being, dissatisfied, feeling really bored. Feeling mistrustful. Could be some past ties. And that's only going to be for some of you, but for some of you, this could be a relationship where you've got like a long past with them. Like you've been friends or you've been in a relationship with them for a long time. Yeah, that's going to resonate with a few of you. Okay, so this would be your recent past. So we have the Six of Swords. So this is one of those cards where there was a situation, there was some sort of upset within the home life. This could have stemmed from a job. Sometimes this can be like the loss of a job, and then all those problems kind of transfer off to the home life. Sometimes this can be an issue where there was things going on in the family life. But no matter what, it's kind of like we go through an upsetting situation, and sometimes there was loss associated with that situation. And ultimately, we move away from that loss and those sad circumstances because we're ready to find our peace. We're just ready to be done with the problems. So we are ready to, set sail because we're ready to go to the other side of the shore, so to speak, so that we can find our peace. Okay, so this would be the present, the here and the now. So we have the Two of Wands. It's in the reverse position. So typically, this is where we have set something into motion, and it's kind of like we've been waiting on, results. But with the Two of Wands and the reverse position, it's kind of like take one step forward, now take two back, and we're like right back where we started, So this can be really frustrating. Sometimes it can indicate that, maybe in regards to a particular goal of yours, maybe you're just not making any movement or progress towards achieving this goal. Whatever this means for you, it's like there could be, no movement, towards your goal. Maybe sometimes this can be about backwards type of movement where it's like, okay, I felt like I started to get somewhere and then I just ended up way back here, past the starting point. So It can go many different ways. Sometimes this can be about, maybe having a bit of a lack of follow through. So it's like we start something, but we're not seeing it to completion. So maybe we're not giving it our all, you know? And, there's definitely a lack of harmony taking place regarding this. That's for certain. Sometimes this can be like a business partnership, and that's only going to resonate with a few of you, but if this is like a business partnership, this can definitely indicate that the partnership itself is not balanced. So it's like one person seems to be doing the most and the other person's not. So we definitely need things to be in balance. Now, this can also indicate that there could be delays that are just super frustrating. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily done for, but there's definitely some sort of delay that you're dealing with. Perhaps maybe some of you could be waiting for some help or some assistance from somebody. And maybe it's just like, it hasn't come. Maybe it's delayed. Now, for some of you, this could be, maybe you've set something into motion that was, maybe a business or like a creative type of project, or, it could be many different things, but sometimes all we need to do is take a step back and look at things objectively, because sometimes we just need to, change something small, and then boom, we can be moving forward again. But there is definitely a need to like regroup, look at what we've set into motion. Be honest with yourself. Are you putting enough in? Are you actually working towards achieving this? Are you passionate about this? Is this what you really want? Now, for a few of you, this definitely could indicate that that you may have to just start over. Sometimes we have to just start over fresh, especially if it's something that maybe you started, and maybe you might have started it with great enthusiasm, but then as time went on, maybe it's just like, yeah, I'm just not feeling it anymore. And so in that type of case, we're definitely going to need to start over, and we need to start over, and we need to make sure that what we do, what we put into motion, is something that we're passionate about, something that we really want, something we want to achieve, something that we're not going to allow ourselves to get scattered and lose our passion over it. We want passion, because with passion, at least that can be a driving force towards pushing us to achieve it. Okay, so it is clarified by the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, I love this card. The sword she's holding, the sword represents the truth. Truth penetrating matter. So definitely a need to be truthful. Now, the Queen of Swords, this could actually be somebody that you might be dealing with, or this could be just the type of energy associated with this, or this could even be energy that you could be channeling. Now, the Queen of Swords, she is very, very analytical. She's a keen observer. She's got logic, that reasoning ability. She takes her time in making decisions because she wants to make sure that they're the right decision. And she likes to weigh the pros and the cons of each choice or each direction, whatever it may be. And so the message here could be that, maybe you need to weigh the pros and the cons. Is this something you really want? Is this something that's going to fulfill you? Only you know that. Now, the Queen of Swords, especially if she happens to be someone in your life, this could be someone that you have a business partnership with, or, like a creative project partnership. And again, the person could be male or female. I know we see kings and queens and pages and knights and princes and princesses and all that, but always remember that, they can be any gender. Okay. So this particular queen, she can be an advisor, she can be a lawyer, a counselor, because she has seen her fair share of hard knocks in life, that is for sure. So she knows how to handle loss. She's actually pretty adept at it. So for some of you, this could be, actually getting advice from someone else. Or some of you could actually be, taking on this queen's energy where you're analyzing the situation, weighing the pros and the cons, reasoning. If you're not, then we might want to. We need to definitely analyze this situation. Whatever it is that you put into motion here, it needs to be analyzed. So, do we want this? Are we passionate about it? If there's a partnership, is it equal? Are you following through? Maybe someone else isn't following through. This can go so many different ways. So, analyze, weigh things out, weigh the pros and the cons. Be honest with yourself. But we definitely need to weigh things out. We need to have an objective point of view. That's what I was looking for. We need to be objective. Okay, so this is the near future. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm getting the vibe that now this is only going to be for some of you, not all of you, okay? Some of you just might be considering hiring a lawyer. Yeah. Maybe some of you might have made an investment. It could have been a financial investment. It could have been, it could have been an investment of your time. This could be many different things, but maybe some of you might be considering getting some legal advice or hiring a lawyer, especially for partnerships. Yeah, this is a possibility. That's not going to resonate with all of you, but it's going to resonate with some of you. Okay, so sorry. I got to look at the near future cards and things just started clicking for me. Okay, so we have the 10 of Wands in the reverse position. So this is like you've been carrying a huge, massive amount of burdens and responsibilities. It's just like way too much to bear for one person. It's like we can carry a load for so long, but at some point, we've got to start throwing some of these wands down because it's like breaking our back, you know? So typically, this is where we take on extra responsibilities. And these responsibilities, they can feel very oppressive and extremely burdensome. And a lot of times we may do this because, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a significant other, it's like someone wants us to help them and, we just want to help, but it's like too much to carry. Now, that's not going to apply for all of you, but it's going to resonate with some of you. For the rest of you, this is just going to be about you've been carrying an extremely heavy load and you've just reached the point where it's like, I cannot do it no more. I have got to start throwing some of these responsibilities down because I just can't handle it. I'm only one person, and this is enough responsibility for 4 different people. Now, I agree. We definitely need to throw some of these burdens down. But the best advice that I can give here is make sure that the responsibilities, the burdens that you do decide to throw down, make sure to get closure upon them, because you don't want to throw these burdens onto someone else that's unsuspecting. For instance, let's use, the family member scenario. Maybe a family member came to you months ago, they needed help. You're a softie, so you're like, yeah, I'll help you. And maybe it was only supposed to be for a month or two, but maybe it's turned into 4 or 5 or 6 months. And it's just like, I can't do it no more. And so it's, you're ready to throw that burden down, but you need to also let that person, that family member, know, look, I've carried you this far. It was only supposed to be this much. I love you. I did what I could to help you, but I cannot anymore, because this is affecting my own responsibilities and getting in the way. I cannot do it for you no more. You're going to have to take care of it yourself. So that's an example. We just need to make sure that we're not throwing the burdens onto someone that could be not expecting it. Because on occasion, some can try to throw their burdens upon others. Yeah, not good. But if you've been carrying someone else's burdens, like I say, you definitely need to drop them. Just, bring them to the closure point. And that way you cannot be blamed. You did what you could. You went out of your way. You helped as much as you could. But honestly, this is a card of saying, hey, it's time to get your own priorities straight. And that is hard to do when we are carrying a huge load like this. And like I said, typically we're taking on other people's burdens here. And this is what we need to stop doing, because we need to focus on our own responsibilities. Because when we're trying to take on everybody else's and trying to help everybody else, then our own issues and responsibilities can suffer because we've just spread ourselves too thin. So, this is definitely one of those cards where it's a call to, take that action, because we have to focus on our own priorities here, because we don't need things getting messed up in our own life because we're just simply trying to help. Well, if you're trying to help someone, you're coming from the best place possible, from your heart. And I love that, but at the same time, you don't want to hurt yourself. Okay, so this makes sense. So it's clarified by the Two of Swords. So this shows that perhaps you've hit a stalemate. You're wondering, what should I do? Should I do this or should I do that? Should I go this way or should I go that way? You know? And this is a situation, a decision that you have to make. And there's a bit of an emotional element to it. So it definitely adds to the indecision because it's a little bit of an emotional decision that we have to make. And so it makes the indecision a bit more intense. So you definitely have this choice that you have to make. Now, I always say, take your time when making a decision, when making a choice, because you want to make sure that you're making the right choice for you and where you are in your life. Because again, the focus card, the lovers, this is about us making the right decisions for where we are right now. Are we going to make a decision that is healthy, or are we going to make one that is not good for us? Are we going to repeat a pattern, or are we going to learn a lesson and move forward and make the right choice? So make the best choice for you in your situation and where you are right now. Weigh the pros and cons. It's like I was explaining here with the Queen of Swords. Take your time, weigh things out, good reasoning abilities, logic, all these things would be favored when making this decision. But ultimately, you must make the decision that is going to be best for you in your future. Okay, so this would be the attitude position. So we have the Four of Wands in the reverse position. So anytime I see this card, I tend to jump up on my soapbox and and go through my whole speech about, we need to be very grateful and thankful for every single blessing that we have in our life, no matter how big or how small. Overall, this is a card of taking stock of our blessings and being thankful for them. Because it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind of things. Sometimes we can even not realize just how blessed we are. Sometimes we tend to take things for granted, super small things that we don't even think about. It's like, sure, we might be in a bit of a tough situation, but are you eating tonight? Well, if you're eating, you are blessed, because there are so many people. I don't even want to start giving statistics because this video would turn into something completely different, but very, very real. So many people are not going to eat tonight. If you're eating tonight, you are blessed. If you have a bed to lay in and to sleep in, that's a blessing. If you're viewing this reading, this is a blessing. There are so many people that don't even have anything to eat, let alone the technology of a smartphone or a tablet or a computer to view this reading, or anything else for that matter. So, these are like little small things, and we can tend to take those things for granted and not pay attention to them. And that's what I mean about let's just be grateful and thankful for the blessings that we do have in our life, no matter how big or how small that they are. The more that we can acknowledge that we are blessed, and the more that we focus on being grateful and thankful for what we do have, that's when we put ourselves in alignment with attracting more things to be grateful and thankful for. So, you know, if you catch yourself getting caught up in a negative mind frame, just try to focus upon the things that you have that you're grateful for. Because one positive thought is 10 times stronger than one negative thought. Okay, so this is how other people see you. And here's that Four of Cups again, guys. Four of Cups, Four of Cups. So these focus cards are definitely hitting hard here. So other people are definitely looking at you like maybe you're just not happy with where you are right now. Maybe you're just not happy with your lot in life. Maybe it's just a particular situation or a particular person. For some of you, this could be about a relationship, romantic or platonic, that maybe didn't end so great. Maybe we're still trying to heal from the situation. Because this is definitely a card of us where we're definitely turning more inward, and we're doing a lot of reflecting upon our emotions, because the water is symbolic of our emotions, and she's staring at her reflection in the pond here. So she's reflecting upon her emotions and her emotional situations, and she doesn't exactly look thrilled, you know and she doesn't see that she's being offered this cup, because she's not even looking, because she is so focused on her emotional state and on her own issues, that she doesn't see that an opportunity is being offered. And even if she did, she might be a little leery about accepting it. So this is definitely a period of, feeling dissatisfied, maybe even a bit bored. I know that's a bit of a generic word to use, but, it's pretty fitting. But most of the time, it's just like, we're just not happy with where things are. It's like we want more. Okay, so this is the card of hopes, fears. Can also give us a bit of subconscious mind information. So we have the Tower card in the reverse position here. So this shows that there could have been a potentially shocking situation that occurred, and it's like we're not so shocked now, but as we were initially, so to speak. Now, sometimes this is a card of saying, okay, hey, I went through an unexpected, shocking type of situation. Now I have to pick up the pieces and rebuild, go in a new direction or rebuild in general. But this can also be a card of maybe we're just not seeing the writing on the wall. Maybe we're trying to avoid the inevitable. Some situations just have to be dealt with. We have to deal with them, and we have to move on. Yeah. So if you are trying to avoid the inevitable in a certain situation in your life, I wouldn't continue to do that. Just accept things as they are. Let go, let God, let go, let the universe, whatever works for you and your beliefs. But letting go of, when we personally let go of that control, and us feeling the need to control a situation, that's where things can become a lot better for us. And I know that's a lot easier to say than to do. Trust me, I know I'm a Scorpio moon. So, but hey, I've learned to do it. It is not easy, but the results are good, always. It's just a matter of letting go of that particular situation that, that, and, we were basically trying to be shown the light, like, hey, you need to know this. Because typically this is a situation where things, there's like a unexpected type of element, it's like things that happen out of the blue. It's like us finding out about something and we're almost blindsided. It happens so quick. But, we need to face it, we need to deal with it, and we need to move forward. We can't go back. We must move forward or sideways, whatever, but we can't go back all the time. Okay, so for the final outcome, we have the Two of Coins in the reverse position. So, automatically, looking at this Two of Wands in reverse and then this Two of Coins in reverse, this can definitely be indicating that there could be some sort of disappointing news that you might receive regarding financial matters, maybe even a partnership. Could even be about a job, an investment, a relationship. Could be many different things. But anytime we have the Two of Coins in reverse, this is where we're trying to multitask. We're trying to do 100 different things. And again, we have spread ourselves too thin. We've got too many irons in the fire, and then we cannot do the best that we're actually capable of because we've spread ourselves too far out. I mean, too thin. There's too many irons in the fire. We're going to have to drop some of those irons, some of those wands. We have to. So, for some of you, maybe you're working multiple jobs. Maybe some of you are dealing with the, issues at work and, financial issues. And then maybe there's issues going on at home. It's like there's a lot going on and we're trying to do way too much. And sometimes we can get some disappointing or disheartening type of news. And it can knock us out of balance, so to speak, to where it's like it makes it where we cannot continue to spread ourselves thin. But ultimately, I would highly recommend, if you're catching this in time, if you know you're spreading yourself out too thin, narrow things down. The things that you can do away with them. We can't keep spreading ourselves out too thin. This is going to take a toll. And if I can help you avoid that, I'd like to do so. So, I know some of you are literal workhorses and work, but we definitely got to be careful spreading ourselves too thin. Some of you could even be spreading yourselves too thin to where it could be affecting your health. And so, if that happens to resonate with you, you need to take it easy. You need to pull back on the hours a little bit. You need to give yourself time to rest and recuperate. Because this can just cause issues. And okay, so let's clarify. Yeah, I got two cards for clarifying here. The first one is the moon in the reverse position. So the good thing about the moon in reverse is this definitely indicates that there's not any type of deception going on. If there's any deception at all, it could potentially be self-deception, but we don't need none of that. Now, maybe some of you might be waiting on someone to speak up and tell you how they feel. Well, this is a card where that will happen. And they won't hold back. They will tell you the whole truth and nothing but. So this is a card where, all truth will be revealed. The truth will come to the light, so to speak. And I feel like some of you could actually be experiencing some insomnia, some sort of issues with sleep, and maybe the lack thereof. And then I feel that there's going to be a few of you that might be sleeping way too much. But I'm feeling the majority of you are probably experiencing some sort of insomnia. And this could be stress, anxiety related. Okay, so the next card is the Four of Swords in the reverse position. So this is like we have taken a time out. But now we're back into action. We have to deal with these situations. We have to get out there and back to the daily battles, that we all go through. For some of you, this could be, maybe some of you had a vacation and you've come back. Maybe you feel rested and better and you're ready to handle the situations. Maybe some of you, and this is only going to be for very few of you, excuse me. Some of you could have actually had a surgery and you are now like healing, recovering from the surgery. That's only going to resonate with a couple of you. Now, this card can definitely indicate an upheaval of sorts, whether it's a good upheaval or a negative one. Sometimes it can indicate like unrest. A lot of times it can be like within the workplace. There could be some sort of contractual disagreements. Yeah, I mean, there could be some issues going on. Disagreements, for sure. Doesn't have to be, but there could definitely be some sort of disagreements, maybe even contractual type of issues. So, which just makes me think that some of you really are going to be hiring a lawyer. But the good thing is, we've definitely got plenty of indicators that are indicating that, that there is not any major deception going on. But, ultimately, the truth, if you feel that it's been withheld from you, it's coming to light. It will come to the light. But I just, be careful. I don't want you guys spreading yourselves too thin. Okay, so for the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Cups. So I always refer to this card as like the emotional choices wish card. So we always have to be careful though, because each one of these choices that we can make, there can be a bit of illusion attached to them. Ultimately, we always want to choose spirit, because when we choose spirit, then we're not going to go wrong. But, some might be like, oh, I really want to be in a relationship. That's what I want. Look at this woman. She's beautiful. I want to be in a relationship. I'll choose that. Well, maybe you can get into that relationship and then suddenly you start finding out like, whoa, you look so innocent and so nice and so pure and holy. hell? Are you evil? I mean, unfortunately, things can go like that. It's like not everything is not always what it seems, okay? All the glitters is not gold. You know, the whole never judge a book by its cover. Yeah, right here. All the glitters is not gold. And that's why I say there's a bit of illusion. Things will appear to be better than what they really are. So we have to be able to see through those illusions. We can't allow ourselves to get caught up in that. And that's why choosing spirit is always what's best. So, yeah, I have 2 cards to clarify that. So, okay. So, we got the Ten of Wands in reverse again. And then the Knight of Cups in reverse. So, I'm just going to say it. There are some of you out there that are dealing with a relationship that you are no longer happy in. And perhaps you feel like they have just taken advantage of you. Maybe you feel like they have thrown all of their crap upon you to take care of. And you just can't take it no more. Maybe some of you are considering getting into a relationship. And I'm going to say be really, really careful here, okay? Because if you are strongly considering getting into a romantic relationship, we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So this is like, you know, someone's coming forward offering something, but we need to be really leery here. This is where we need to pay attention to the Four of Cups, because what this Knight of Cups in reverse is offering is not necessarily to our benefit, okay? And more likely than not, it ain't going to be to our benefit. This can also indicate someone who has issues with commitment. This could be interpreted in so many different ways here, but yeah, I'm just going to say y'all need to be really, really careful here. Really careful. But that Ten of Wands in reverse, yeah, it's it's come out 2 different times now. So it is definitely significant, and we got 2 Cups cards, so this is telling me this is definitely someone that you guys know. It's someone you love or someone you want to love. You know, again, this doesn't have to be romantic. It can be. But this could be a platonic type of love as well. But you just really need to be careful. You don't want to throw your burdens on them, and you don't want them trying to throw their burdens on you. And I got the feeling that some of you are already going through this where someone has thrown their burdens upon you, and this hasn't worked out. It's not been to your benefit, and you were super dissatisfied with your situation, and now you're just back to the point where I need to make a decision. Is this, you know, I need to do what's best for me. And yes, you need to do what's best for you, okay? And only you know that, okay? So keep your head up and make the best decisions for where you are in your life, and only you know what that is. Okay? It's going to get better. It will. I love you guys, and I'm sending you blessings of healing, prosperity, and love.